Hey, how you guys doing? Today is September the 11th, and this is our parent video for the week. This week ended with our students taking a math test. I've sent back all of the results of the test, and it will be updated in the Aries grade book by hopefully Sunday. In relation to language arts, we concluded reading a story titled The Ravine. Next week, we're going to actually spend some time in the story. Um, Speaking about the characters, the different characters, and how each of those characters has something about them that most students can identify in them. We're also entering a phase of our quarter where writing is going to become more an essential to the curriculum. And in particular, in ELA, they're going to be working on an essay, they're going to be writing a narrative. I have not yet decided what their writing prompt is going to be on, but I will be expecting them to be writing where they're telling um, some story, not fictional, hopefully to be true and it's something about them, so they won't have too difficult of a time um, with what they want to write. In relation to history, we are working our way up to the first civilizations. This past history lesson, which actually took place yesterday, we spoke about the importance of farming and how through farming, villages were created and eventually led to cities and civilizations. I try to teach history with the thought process of how does it relate to the life that they're living today. So I really put a lot of emphasis on farming and the word surplus. If you get an opportunity to kind of ask them just to kind of review to see if some of the material stuck with them, ask them about why would a surplus have anything to do with different types of jobs that people had. And if they can kind of answer that a little bit, then that lets me know that something that I said stuck with them. Going forward, in math, we will be starting a brand new chapter. In their books, it will be chapter 3. They're going to be dealing with decimals, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing them. I expect that the students will have some level of success in adding and subtracting them. The multiplying and the dividing is where some of the students might struggle if they aren't normally strong in math. So what you could do to really help me is to just kind of ask them questions. If you take a moment out of your day to just simply ask them to teach you what they're learning, it's known to be a pretty effective strategy because if someone can describe it and explain it to someone else, it helps make them reanalyze how they understand it, and it enhances and strengthens what they understand. So I would really appreciate if you could do that. As far as language arts, like I said, we'll be working on the ravine, finishing up that story, as well as entering writing a narrative. In science, we're still going over the human impact on the environment. I will be honest with you, science is behind the other subjects. So if you were to check your students' grades, you'll notice that there's less grades in there for science. That is a combination of us only doing science once a week. And this week, even though we didn't go to school on Labor Day, which is usually when we would cover history, I replaced science with history. And so we didn't. So the students did not receive any science this week. Uh, the reason why is our pacing guide requires us to be at a certain point in history by the end of the first complete grading period. And science, the pacing guide is a little more uh, independent for each teacher. So I want to make sure I stay with my peers in that regard. Gradings. So I've updated grades today. I will update a few more grades this weekend, but not too many. What you'll see today is probably what you will see on Sunday, with the exception of the math test that the students took today. We will be having the end of our first quarter grades aren't until October, but our mid quarter grades, which are a little different than what your student had in elementary because they were on the trimester system, and now we're on the quarter system. Those grades will be put into a progress report, hopefully by I want to say either next week or the week after. Little heads up, at the end of this month, we will be doing conferencing. I'm not completely familiar. I'm not completely knowledgeable on what the school policy is going to be for conferences this year. I imagine that I'm going to probably send out a form and give you time slots and allow you to select what slot works best for you. Now, if I'm not able to do that, it's simply because your student also has two other teachers. And generally with conferencing, they try to meet with everyone. But I don't know how that's going to work with our present situation. But kind of be on the heads up for conference. Now, with that said, let's say you want to address something with me prior to conference. I am always available via email. Don't hesitate to send me a quick email letting me know um, whatever your concern may be. Continue to please ask your students to turn in their work because of the my scoring rubric. There's a strong emphasis on completion of work uh, as opposed to just tests. So even if your student typically tests well, they need to complete their work. So please kind of stay on them about it. I do accept late work as long as they turn in something. Beyond that, like I said, it's been a great week. I've smiled quite a bit with your students. I do believe I'm beginning to learn their personalities as they are learning mine, and I'm beginning to gain a connection with them. And once again, I look forward to hopefully being able to have them in my classroom under the right, safe conditions. So if you have any questions or concerns, once again, just let me know. See you guys later.